You were just saying that you messed up with 2024, right? You accidentally did
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I put 2024 February, said 2025. Like I'm such a space cadet. Like I'm already shifting before I even, since I sit down into that chair. So anyway, so we'll
You
just have to see what
dummy.
happens. We'll just have to see if it works
You
out or
dumb.
not.
Look at this. I was just getting the feedback up, and everyone says 392780D5, and then I go download this, and I'm like DE3A 2642. What? Look at this. So this was the original tasking that I made the thread for, right? So everybody's sending me sessions with that TRN in it, and I had changed it, but I didn't change the thread name. Describe the most impactful public news event of February 2024.
Well, if it's down to the intention, hopefully it should work anyway. But
I hope so, because then what is it? The feedback for D3A, I switched it to 2025, and that's why the TRN changed.
I meant to douse too. I wanted to see if I can get it within a few days anyway. But I don't know.
Kyle, if you want to kill me, I see your face right now. You're like,
Hi, Kyle.
son of.
Oh, you're muted, Kyle. Again.
No, I was just wondering if we went back to February of 2024, see what's in the news to see if it lines up.
Maybe we should. I just noticed this. I knew that David had wrote February 2024, and I was like, that's all good. It's more about the intention, and the intention was February 2025. But then I just thought it was a funny synchronicity that I had done the same thing and didn't correct the thread name. So I'm like,
interesting project. I'm gonna find out. Is it intention based?
Yeah. I mean, luckily I don't care. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's what I told him. I said it'd be an interesting experiment, to see what happens.
So last month, I know I hit on the weather stuff. Did you guys notice any hits for what you're looking for?
Never did have that lunatic in the hotel yet.
So it hasn't happened yet. You went looking?
I don't think so. I looked around. I kept an eye on the news, but nothing like that. So I don't know. It would have been interesting. Well,
I was pinging ChatGPT for that. You said like a circular room, right?
Yeah, circular room.
Like a circular penthouse room. Yeah. I was using that to go like probe for news.
The fire had blanketed the news for the LA fires for basically half the month. I mean, at least. I mean, I finally found a little clip, of what I think I had, which was those people crossing the water that their boat capsized and all that shit. But I kind of wonder, and Kyle, like going back for years, I kind of wonder if it had something to do with that Tesla catching on fire. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
As far as the boat?
Well, I remember, maybe I'm remembering this wrong, so please excuse me if, no, not the boat, but the energy propagation. Like, I remember that, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause I don't know if that battery exploded in that thing or what happened, but remember you guys had those, you had those pluses and minuses, or you had those plus
those rods?
Yeah.
I think the rods, that one had to do with the construction, the fires.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back to the boat there. Thanks, Dave. The rods on like page 5, I think, on that one. The boat one, my boat one, didn't seem to hit for January. Yours did, but mine didn't. But this one, I think this one is the LA fires. I called it out as a construction catastrophe, which it kind of ended up being.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk too about some of this. Some of this stuff is actually being. Some of these wackos are actually lighting shit on fire too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not all just, there's arsonists and stuff too, it seems like.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. There's like 5 or 6 different fires going all at once.
So go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
There's that one thing about some sort of electrical company where they were blaming them for the Los Angeles fires.
Yeah, there was actually a couple of lawsuits already filed, like civil lawsuits against them, because they didn't deground some of their equipment and then it went into this. Yeah, so it really reminded me of my sketching where
the positive and negative.
Mm-hmm. And
Yep.
I AOL'd Legos, and so I deep dived the that electric electric company, and like so they have this thing where they're gonna try to like put everything underground, and like the blueprints of a look exactly like Legos.
That's awesome. And like this looks like it's, you know, like a wire company stuff going through the mountains, like the LA hills and everything. And you're talking about smoldering, hot stuff burning, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You had like the wind coming in, which southeast is this way, right? No, southeast is this way, you're right. And yeah, like the wind was coming through that area as well.
yeah. They said the winds in that area actually go out towards the ocean. It goes east or goes west, I think. Yeah,
Sure.
and then I have the cracks because it felt like it was gonna like set off like another disaster, but like not big. Like it was like a sub event.
Reading the summary though, it being a natural and man-made structure event, simultaneously natural yet engineered by man. Construction or catastrophe will set off a naturally occurring emergency event in the mountains with hot stuff. I think this has got to be it.
Yeah, yeah, I
Nice
think
work.
so. Thank you.
Pretty cool.
Very nice.
And I think I got the Tesla one. I think that was January. With the buildings, and the car.
Here's your second session.
No, that's the boat one. That's my.
This is the
I
boat
still
one.
have
Okay.
5 days, I guess.
Yeah. And need to rotate this. This one?
There, yeah. So X. It looks like if you go back up X platform, it's kind of like conceptual. Elon's platform.
Wow. That's cool.
Cables, wires coiled. Maybe I don't know if his
That's
batteries
so
are like
cool.
that.
So that's so
Wow.
cool. I love when I see that when your subconscious works in a symbolic frame for you personally in order to get that point across. I notice it more now than when I first started. You know what I mean? When I first started, I wasn't getting, but my subconscious does something similar sometimes where it will give me something very symbolic to indicate something related to the
Yeah,
topic.
it's like looking up front, it'd be really hard to tell, but after it hits, it's like, huh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so in the next one, I think I have a car with some flames. I thought it was going to be something cool, like and fun.
Projects out to the crowd. I think, was this the one that it was like it had like the thing of like it might be a bad event, but you were trying for it to be like a fun event?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess like in Elon's case, right? Any press is good press. And he got to show
Hope-
off his, his Cybertruck that it didn't didn't blow up.
Definitely. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Think this is the one? Yeah. Cool. Should we go through this month's news?
Let's do it.
Find it.
Who wants to go first? And did you guys do this one, the most impactful public news event?
I didn't, but you never sent me the. You didn't send me the. I mean, I just did a what news, but
Well, somebody wanted it to be blind. They wanted to do the news blind, so it's like you had to go post something, right? But I want to iterate and try and figure out like, okay, how do I get the fires for the month, right? Like, I think we all collectively agree that the LA fires was the biggest news event to us, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I put impactful in here, I'm thinking like number of people that, you know, their whole actions in life like completely changes. So if I think about that, to me, it's a little bit like the winter storm stuff probably did cause more people to change their lives, right? Like all of us basically like couldn't go outside of our houses for 3 days and drive, like the roads were shut down and schools are out and everything. And like basically like the huge portion of the United States was that way. But the second one, when I said like the wildest, I do think that was overlaid with a the Space Monkey session that I did, and I posted a whole video about like reviewing that. And if I were to say the wildest event, it's not some SpaceX rocket blowing up, it's still the LA fires. So I want to try and figure out how to get this tasking down to get like what we collectively think is the biggest story.
Maybe choose that, the biggest story.
I did this month. So
Yeah.
I didn't do this one. I did like the biggest news story of February 2025.
Okay.
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I'll mind.
Cool. There you
Should I
go.
start with just the conclusion and then kind of work into session, or what do you think?
Sure. We can go
Yeah.
to conclusion first.
Okay.
That'll set context pretty well.
Yeah. Set the context, then you can even almost close your eyes to listen to all the descriptors here. It built this whole story. It's wild. So I don't have any particular interest in this topic. I don't know, it's interesting in a way, but I don't really care. I used a bastardized form of CRV like I normally do, and that's it. That came. So I said, summary, it felt like an important speech from the Pope announcing succession or a change in structure. It's dramatic and notable, but reasonable and thought out. It's almost like a modernization reform or adapting to the times. So go back to page 1 there. I just sat down and these impressions that came: flat, large, wellspring, candid, practical, associate, unlock, cardin door, rebound. And here's where it started to change. Here's where like other data came: merriment, diocese, event, evangelical, participate, sacrifice, holy water, strength, canon, mesmerize, faithful, large, assorted, faith bring, topple, exclusive, ordinary, succession, mantle, donate, surprise, parish, wreath, vagabond, nomad, desecrate, and unholy. An analytic overlay of Pope and analytic overlay of church structure. And next page, just some textures, temperatures, and stuff, which weren't really relevant. There's movement, steel, warm, sweeping, and then also impressions: busy ceremony, noble dissertation, and freeing rites. Analytic overlay of robes and a speech. Stage 3, I even got a little image. You got this, like the Pope guy, he's got a little hat on, and at a pulpit cross, an analytic overlay of a pulpit to the flock, an analytic overlay of succession. So I tried to probe the speech details. Got rhythm, nativity, kinship, folklore, interfaith, it's time, bread and butter, miraculous, holy water, rekindle, celibate, announce machinations, resolve difficulty, announce, overstate, predecessor, welcome, welcome sabbatical, announce reshaping process, vertical structure. And stage 4, we got a analytic overlay of remove hat. I can see an image of a guy taking off his hat. And aesthetic impacts of robes, splendor, excellence, gold, warm, loving, forgiving, an outpouring of showmanship, and serious endeavor, ascertained development, dissertation, blended family. Stage 5, I asked, what else should I know? Things came: doctrine, amicable solution, practicality, resolve conflict, open space, distant relatives, foreigners abroad, restore glory, higher powers, solution, sculpt worldview, unbroken lineage, dissolve authority, maintain order, communal prayer. And I want to see the thoughts of the subject: and lance, solution, avoid trouble, and dissolve an order. So it's bizarre, but I mean, really strong impressions. They came just one after another, just crazy.
Did you look up if there's any rumors about the Pope stepping down and there being a change of hands?
I looked up. I guess it happened for the first time in 600 years in 2014. Like the predecessor to him was the first one to ever step down in 600 years. It's never happened before, really, in 600 years. So, but as far as now, I couldn't see anything. No indications or anything.
Guess we should check 2024's news as well.
Yeah. Pope quickly step down then. I don't know.
This TRN is for the 2024 one, so my bad.
Well, let's hope it's intention and not TRN based.
I think that just comes down to like self-tasking. Like, are you self-tasking the? Because if you did this knowing what you were looking at, were you blind or?
I knew it was news. It was February news.
Okay, then you probably knew that you were like trying to go for 2025's news.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my intention
Interesting.
was 2025 still, not the text.
Well, if it's a solid hit, it'll give us a little answer to the mystery here.
Yeah. Awesome. Kyle, you want to go? You got 2 sessions, right?
Sure. Yeah, I have 2 sessions.
Wait.
All right. So this first one I did blind because I just went to the Target section and I just grabbed one. I didn't realize it was news. So that was the first time doing news blind. So I'll just kind of go off my my notes here. So so I knew it was time, and I knew there was like a person, but it didn't feel like biological. It felt like representative, like a structure, you know. So if we want to go to the next one, there we go. Crumbling. It was warm. It's natural light. It's outside. Fishy smells. Smooth textures. Intangibles. Observing time. I felt like I was underwater, and it felt like I was. I'm sure I spelt that wrong. Like remembering, like a remembrance. Okay, let's go to the next one. So I got this really overwhelming impression of like beams, just large steel structures. I did this one a couple weeks ago. And it had lots of coils, lots of like ropes, not ropes, but like I guess coils. Like pulling it, like it felt like there was a struggle going back and forth. And something about the threading of the coils, something's wrong with them. The blue and green, I couldn't tell if it was like water and land, or it was hard to tell, like sky versus water, but it got a little murky. And there's a lot of depth. Something is like calling out like a beacon. I don't know if it's like a cell phone tower nearby or something, but it was definitely focused on the steel beams and the structure. Okay, let's go to the next one. And then there's this guy. I feel like maybe the bridge is named after this guy. He's very like educational. He instructs. He's interested in learning and teaching. I think he had a robe on, like it was a huge collar. It was very pronounced. Older. Has a cool mustache. Yeah,
Wait a minute,
so
wait a
it's
minute, wait a minute.
basically the strong structure. It's like captured in time. It was
Somebody named a bridge after Dave over here? No.
Guy looks awful suspect.
ooh, yeah, he does.
Stylish.
That's funny. Yeah, so it's an old bridge, a lot of rust on the steel. The pulley system seemed important. That's about it. Not knowing it was news, I feel like I don't know, kind of skipped the event that happened. I'm describing a location and a structure, but lacking event.
Anytime I see an inventor from the past or something, and like we hear so much the name Tesla right now, I wonder if something's going to be named after Tesla.
Yeah. That'd be dope. All right, I think that's that one for that. Okay, so my next one, this one I tried Dave's AIM method. Yeah.
Was it fun?
So basically, I knew it was going to involve structured land, biological, and the timeline. There's a lot of hustle and bustle, but silence, like the noise is background noise. It's chilly, low light pollution, like foggy. Very, very eerie feeling, actually. A lot of chemical smells. It just felt like industrial. So I AOL tools, but it's like industrial smells. Couldn't get any taste. Textures were smooth and metal. The intangibles, working and distraction. I got this vision of this guy frantically working with a wrench. Yeah, chaos, pure chaos. So it involves a ship or vessel. There's going to be some kind of ornament on the front of the ship. It's incoming, very slow. There's biologicals on the ship, but I didn't really spend any time on that because I feel like they're going to be a no name. It's more about the event than the person. But what I did get from the biological is that they were frantic and they were working. Let's go to the next one. So here's where I anchored the time to the location. So I first looked at the location and the land, and I got busy street, corner, super, super old New York City. So you're gonna have this big billboard, digital screen, and the timeline is going to be anchored to what is on that billboard. And I AOL'd Batman. It's going to be like an ad. I actually wrote this whole thing down. I don't know where I'm freeballing. So the time will coincide with an ad or trailer for a movie or a show involving a flying character. The billboard is in a busy street. Often the distance is a man-made structure. The structure is in water, it's concrete, and it's aging. Something about holding a torch or a flame, like a ornament figure.
This reminds me so much of my session. Something
I can't
about
wait.
this.
I can't wait to hear it from your voice. Yeah.
The Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. And so there's a crack or damage at the base of the flame of the torch. And so the structure in water gets impacted by a submersible object, a vessel. The vessel is large. It's made of steel. Metal has distinct figure on the bow. The biologicals are on board. Frantic. So yeah, this incoming vessel is having issues, mechanical problems, and so it's more like an accident. But I believe it's going to involve the Statue of Liberty, and a torch might fall.
This thing with the steel beams that you had there, that looked like your first session. Here.
Yeah.
We had these beams again.
The front of that. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt, but I just want to say the front of the boat. I drew something. You'll see in my session, but I drew something. I couldn't figure out what it was. Like, is this a bridge? Is this a? I don't know what it was, but I can tell you that my sketch looks very much like that. Very much like
I
that.
can't wait to see it. And what I did notice too is that my mapping and the land and the ship all have the same. On the other session, it all has the same like split, symmetrical. There we go, right there. And then you go to the next one, and it's the city, and it's split.
Yeah, and we had one anonymous session that we're not going to share here, but that it also seemed to have that same shape and structure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. So I think we have multiple sessions like this. Dave, if you're overlapping, this is going to be really exciting. The other thing with the beacon, anytime I see a light like that, it looks to me like, like it all circling around. So it could be like a lighthouse, or it could be like boats are supposed to have lights on them as well.
Yeah, I had a light in mind too, something with a light, and it may be exactly that. Like there may be a boat that crashes into a bridge or a structure, or the station, something. I don't know, but you'll see when you see there's some kind of overlap there, from my opinion, Kyle. You tell me what you think though when you see it.
Okay, but yeah, I only had 2 events this month, so
it sounds like it might be the same event.
it might be.
Yeah,
I told you, Kyle. We're sharing the same. Looks like we're sharing the same network, I think.
I think so.
And Dave, you decided to view 2024. You know it's 2025. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So go ahead and start rolling it whenever you're ready. Nothing interesting here.
Just the tier 3 be in the sky. That's fine.
Yeah. Just that.
Yeah, boring. We saw
Trying
those.
to get the pen moving.
but,
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So I kept getting this. Really reminded me a lot of Chicago, where like you have like the water kind of in the center, and then the city on this side, city on that side. Like it reminded me of the river almost, of the Chicago River, where you have the open bridges and stuff. But I had also AOL'd like the Panama Canal or something. I couldn't figure out what this structure was in the middle, if it was a bridge or if it was something. I don't know, but it certainly reminds me of different sketches of what Kyle had. So you can go ahead. What does that say? We'll go back to AOL. Earthquake City Center. Okay, AOL. All right, go ahead. Yeah, so this, I had the police department there, and I don't know if they're managing a crisis or something, but I had the police, and to me, it reminds me of like one of those big shields that they carry almost.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So again, there's that structure again with the two,
It almost looks like a bridge opening.
That's that's the best I could describe. But I mean, depending on the angle, I mean, just again, it could be a bow of a boat. I don't know, but it reminds me of that.
Yeah, it's that same kind of split.
Okay, now I'm getting a sense of a guy driving like a small car, because I kept coming back around, a car manufacturer. Like there's something to do with like maybe there's cars on the boat. I have no idea, or on the bridge. I don't know. But see, there's that light. Okay,
Yeah.
There's some indication of that light. And what I say ordinary street lights, and I go, my signal, brighter than usual.
And the shape.
Yeah, so I just did this stage 5, a contrarian, a male, container. And I kept getting like some kind of corporate law or something, like taxes, corporate information, like some kind of. It's my sense there's something like kind of skeevy law going on or something. Profiteering, corruption, collusion. I guess I have a justice system, corporate law, getting the impression of fighting a lawsuit. And I think like Trump, like all that stuff he was doing. But I get a sense of a federal court, money-making scheme. Almost felt like money laundering to me or something, but and a blatant disregard of criminal charges, warrant, and somebody like avoiding the media. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting like somebody getting asked these rapid fire questions. Again, I get this criminal tax attorney. And then I had this pale-faced guy, felt like he was getting arrested for something worldly. And I felt like I was in court, for something. Like I was in a proceeding. So I'm getting a covert planning, a white male prodigy, gated property. I got a sense of a bidding war, gaming commission, like an industrial age of indifference.
That's quite a statement. Industrial age of indifference.
Yeah, and so this reminds me of like, I feel like I'm around maybe buildings or a city or something. But it almost reminds me of like cranes building stuff or something, like maybe building buildings or, loading and offloading stuff or something. But industrial. It reminds me of like an industrial kind of area. A sense of a smear campaign. bribery investigation, equity. And I just got this guy kind of like, I feel like there's some kind of scam going on. Signing a waiver, elected official. It's almost like somebody gets caught up doing something skeevy pertaining to a car manufacturer. So I got public communication, courthouse, AOL, Trump. Okay, policing the border. That was AOL. But I got corrupt government asset. And like this guy down here looks really concerned. Like, like he's about to get outed on something. Kind of vibe. So that's the end of that one. And then I went in, I think, one more time. I get a sense of frequency, like not like, frequency like multiple times. And again, I'm in like a very official kind of a, this feels like maybe it's happening at a state level, though. I don't think it's happening at like a federal level.
That looks so much like the room where Trump was meeting with the LA mayor yesterday. They had like a long
Tails and
U-shaped
stuff.
thing.
That was a long table.
Yeah.
And so I got this guy, just like somebody's whispering something to his ear. It's almost like he's got a phone call. Like he's getting some intel, like some insider intel or something.
Is that other guy Trump?
It kind of reminds me of him.
Yeah. I love your sketches.
Thanks. Just more structures here. I mean, it does. I hit a lot of the. Car manufacturer. First thing my analytical mind goes to is Musk, and then all the stuff that's going on. First thing I go to is Trump. So, who knows? I kind of AOL it and just hope for the best. But it certainly felt like it was almost stateside. Brief exchange of documents. And I kept getting stuff about the border, so I'm not sure. Investment opportunity. There's an investment opportunity here. Designation.
I see that you put like 54.5 twice. Is that
stage 4.5? Stage 4.5.
Okay. I was
yeah.
That makes sense. I was like,
yeah,
somebody 54.5 here. Something.
Yeah, brief exchange of documents, and then impression of investment opportunity. Now, this guy, unless this is Elon, but I get a sense of like maybe an Asian. I don't know if it's an Asian car manufacturer or something. I'm not sure. But, it's almost like I'm getting a sense of a signature. It's almost like signing a deal. I'm getting a sense of finances in a captive state. So it feels like somebody's like got involved with some kind of backdoor deal and they get caught, kind of thing. Yeah, I just had a lot of spending money. Cash bribe, serial numbers. I got a sense of serial numbers had something to do with this.
Like they tracked where the money went?
Could be. Wealth, commission, economic relief. Distribution of wealth. Like a hearing on non-compliance. It almost feels like this is filmed, like this will be on TV or something. And there's that angle again. I AOL the car manufacturer recall. And this may have, I don't know, but there's this point in the session where I have a car. It's like I turned a car upside down. It's like I was looking at the underside of the car and there was maybe something wrong with it. And like the idea that came across was almost like, imagine you're a car manufacturer and you're selling lemons, okay? There's some kind of bullshit problem with it. You still need to sell that product. And the person, the group or affiliation you're selling it to knows about the problem. And you give them a bribe to not talk about the problem and still buy their product, kind of thing. So that's kind of what it felt like to me. Because see, there's the upside down car. You know, like I thought like maybe there's some kind of safety hazard here or something that they're not talking about. So go up. Would you take this a little bit? Oh, here we go. Oh, I could do that. Never mind. You're fine. Okay. Target feels to be taking place in a city-like environment. This feels to relate to a car manufacturer, profiteering, a cash bribe, and a safety issue. Fighting a lawsuit feels to be corporate-level crimes. I have a worldly male here, pale-faced, a bidding war on a commission, a visionary, contracts, and private equity. A sense of an elected official signing a waiver, a courthouse public humiliation, a nuisance, and a corrupt government asset. I sense some kind of hearing or proceeding related to this communal property, a brief exchange of documents, an investment opportunity here. I have the impression of a secret response to what is unfolding here. I have an Asian male signing documents, a mutual response, special interest groups, finances, economic downfall, and the impression of a captive state, bankruptcy, and money being spent. I kept getting serial numbers as it somehow relates to this crime. Proceedings, a joint venture, distribution of wealth and economic relief, feelings of commitment, and mass production. So that's it. We'll see.
Seems pretty based in reality. I kind of seem like there's merging of multiple events into one. Because like, how would the bridge play into like some big corporate corruption thing?
That would be my sense too. It was almost like I was trying to, even in my own session, it was almost like I was like, no, like I was trying to dig down to the meat of it. So it may, you know, from my guess, it either doesn't happen at all, or this could be like some kind of big unfolding of something. And Kyle and I are kind of picking up different pieces of this big whatever. Just have to see how it kind of, you know how it is. We get these big pieces, we have to just see how it all comes together.
It can even be the city where it's happening, you know, it's the locale for.
Yeah.
I mean, my sense is like they're doing all these deals with Canada and Panama Canal. It may have something to do with, you know, taking product from one of these countries or selling our cars to this, that. Who knows? You know, we'll have to see what happens. But the stuff with the light and everything is very interesting. So this could be something like very big, and we're, you know, there's just so many pieces to it. Who knows? But I definitely see overlap. But how it relates, we'll have to see.
Awesome. I didn't even open mine up. I think this is it. Yeah. I have a whole video of it on my channel, so I'm probably just going to leave it to that and just quickly go over what I had here. I thought this was funny. So like when I did the ideogram in the air, there were like these 3 spiral things for like 3 events and some structure. So when I did it on paper, which it's still an ideogram, like I really went and did it, I just thought it was funny because it looked like it would said 666. So I put that in there. But I think partially what this could be is, you know, I'm so bored with some of the stuff that I've now requested, give me something wild this month. Like I really want like the biggest, craziest story. And I had these 3 things. The one up here was a circular oval-y room. And there's only one thing I know that's an oval room. That's the Oval Office. Whoops. The second one was entirely conceptual. It was like a network of people behind the scenes. And the third one is this structure. In the oval room, there were like 2 people talking with a couple more looking on them. And they were saying some like big announcement with anxiousness and excitement. It felt like the beginning of something new. I did have something with, it felt like, if I were to like name it, it felt like Putin was actually in the Oval Office and they were like in person making a deal in some way to like end the Ukraine war. The second one was super interesting because it was not just politicians across the entire world and every government, but it was like all of the media and a lot of celebrities and entertainers and musicians and business people. Like it felt like there was this big group that was there, and it was like this hidden secret network group that was kind of like getting taken down. Just made some AI images. This one was cool, where I was seeing very specific, it was on like my little visual picture-in-picture flash frame, but it was like persistent visual. And it had this globe shape on it, but then some name next to it that I couldn't make out. And it was kind of like the DIA or something, where it was an organization that was real, that's been talked about in conspiracy since the 90s or something, but it's always just been like in theory. And here, like something gets released that shows that it's real and that there really is like this mass conspiracy thing there. And then this big structure along the water somewhere where people seem to be getting detained. So my overall impression of all of it was, like the taking down of the deep state. So I don't even care if it doesn't land. It was just a fun one. And a lot more of a shakeup than just getting some weather hints. So that's on over at my channel. And yeah, so the tasking I did was just describe the biggest public news event in the United States in the month of February 2025. Last month with the weather stuff, it was like, this is going to personally affect you. And I really do have snow outside on the ground here, like the most since 1989 in this area. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like what exactly to go hit and target. Any comments on the crazy one, not based in reality? You guys got?
Well, I look forward to that one now. I think that one's going to be fun.
That's
If it
what real
happens, it'll be
anything
so
else
fun.
nowadays.
Cool. Anything else you guys want to go over?
I think
It's
that's it. It's
interesting,
fun.
guys. Yeah,
I like
see
doing
what
news.
happens.
I think this is my favorite one to do every month.
Mine too.
I like doing them, this year. You know what I mean? So hopefully I did that this time around.
We'll find out. Solve some questions along the way. God, I've never done news before, so it's kind of neat to do it now.
I was telling Dave though too. I mean, he's like he went after this thing directly with the deep state or whatever, and like as far as remote viewing, when you're completely blind, and then some people. I mean, I always do it. To me, it's just easier. But if you want to get better at it, the only way to do it is to do it front loaded and just keep trying and get used to it, and get used to just not caring or putting it all to the side or whatever. But
I was pushing out all of those nouns so much during the sessions, and I was really trying not to pay attention to it. I had to split it up into two parts. So I reviewed X and A to start, and then I stopped and I picked it up again like a half hour later. But right as I like close it, and then I'm like walking downstairs, I pull up my phone and I see that Trump had signed the thing for JFK, RFK, and I was like, oh, maybe I am onto something. This will be cool and fun.
You never know. I mean,
But the whole time I was sitting there trying to like keep objective and keep it out until the end to try and name it. But yeah, it just kept getting at it on a not on like you have to do it to understand it. That second one that was entirely conceptual. There was nothing there to physically touch. I didn't even do my level 3 S2 sensory perceptions of it because I was like, there actually isn't something physically here. It's just the concept of the connections between people. So I was able to just go directly into concepts on that one.
cool.
Yeah.
I
All right,
wonder
guys,
if,
well-
like, he still hasn't came out with any drone information. I wonder if he does, that's going to be the catalyst.
I'd be surprised, man. I hope he does. I mean, so far he's doing all kinds of shit I wouldn't like holy shit, he's the JFK files. But I hope he does. Like if he does that, I'll have like I'm like, oh my god, they didn't get to him. But if he does not release that information and then the next week or something, my sense would be they're either not telling him or he's that they have that much pressure on him that he can't release it. And that's
Well,
something, because that guy says everything.
I feel like he did
Right.
110 of the 100 things that he was asked to do. And he said he was going to go do. He's already done so much. Where does the New Jersey drones fall on his priority list, right? Like
I
somebody
feel
asked him
like
about
it
it
should
in the
be
Oval Office.
pretty high up there.
Really?
Well, he knew. That's the thing too. Like before, he's like, "Oh, I know what's going on. I don't know why they're not telling you." Blah blah blah. Then he gets in and he's like, "Can we figure out
I
what's
don't
going on with that?" So like, let's right away. So who knows? He's either
If
going
he
to get.
brings Putin into the Oval Office, I'll cut him some slack. That'd be pretty entertaining.
Well, I mean, my sense is he has to know. I mean, I would think he would at least know enough, like something. He's got to know that's a part of it. I mean, you know what I mean? The ETs are a part of it. So my question is like how much when it comes to that topic is he willing to? That's what we're all been waiting on. Wait for the guy that's in that seat to tell us.
That's what us small fraction of society has been waiting for. The rest of society's been waiting for everything else, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all just want to know about the aliens, honestly.
Notice too, like another thing that's funny is like they call them NHIs. Isn't that strange to you? They don't use the word aliens,
Yeah.
and it makes me wonder. Maybe because in like realistic terms, that's not what they are. You know what I mean? Maybe they've been here as long as us, so to say aliens is kind of not an accurate term. But it's interesting that why don't they call them aliens if that's what they are?
I just find it interesting that there's a big push, not big push, but a lot of traction for non-human intelligence, but they also call AI that. So literally, it's so muddy.
From my perspective, I mean, look, from remote viewing perspective, or whatever, that's where those small drones are. For what we did on the they're like AI, kind of. You know what I mean? It's the closest thing I could compare it to because it's not like a consciousness, it's a machine conscious. I would assume it's AI. But then the U.S. apparently, according to the project, one of them came down, like maybe one of these eggs or something that they got. I don't know, and they reversed engineered. But that technology was able to literally read thoughts. It was like it has that ability. So it makes me wonder if they're like looking for their missing drone or who knows what they're doing over there. But I have a feeling that some of that is that kind of those things, whatever that is.
I think as humans, we always think of sending our biological selves to other places. Like if we send something to Mars, obviously, like we'll send ourselves. But as we've seen, we send out drones first. And now in the age of artificial intelligence, I feel like it was Ray Kurzweil who said this, but I'm not sure exactly where it came from. But they were saying that deep space probes will all just be artificial intelligence. And they've been saying this since like the 60s. So if things are coming to Earth, they're very likely not artificial, or they're very likely not like the original biological beings come here, but it's probably something that's,
Silicon based.
not just that, like it could be that they were able to create biological things that are like copies. And that's one of the theories of the Greys, right? Is that they're like these biological copies that are running some non-human intelligence, artificial thing that's running in there.
That's part of, I think, what we got out of the deal with Eisenhower. When these things came and Eisenhower made these deals with these things, first of all, we didn't have really, I mean, it's not like, I think at the time they probably were like, we'll do whatever these guys want. But also, and it's speculative, obviously, but what if they said, well, we want to go to space and travel and be like you guys, go travel in stars? They're like, you guys can't do that. You're not built for space travel. You consume food. You got to sleep so many hours a day. You got, you can't take all this, the inertia and all this stuff. And that might, in addition to the technology, that may be a portion of what we got out of the deal, where the genetic aspect is they could be building us some kind of a framework in order to go do those things. Because you think about it, if we go out to deep space, we need food. We need, we need all these things. We produce all this garbage. It's just, we're not really built for that kind of stuff.
What if
in
we
that
had like
scenario.
quantum entangled avatars?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. If they can move consciousness from body to body,
Sign
I
me
don't
up.
know.
Yeah,
It's
maybe it's
wild.
not just better tech that we have. It might not be that hard to do.
Yep.
I think this is what our viewers really want us to go take a look at. I don't think they'd even care if we were blind or not. We should just go do it
I
totally
remember
unblind.
I went to a
Post a
base. I can't
video.
remember where it was, but I went to a base and it was basically these ETs working with a military faction of some kind, and that's exactly what they were doing. They were actually, creating these copies, but like where they were kind of human, like for our benefit too. And I remember when I got in there, as soon as I got in there, I heard in my head, "We're running out of time." So I don't know, just rambling, but
Well, put it in the comments, guys. What do you want to see? Let us know what
yeah.
aspects of this you want us to look at.
Oh, I already get the pings. They want to see aliens.
Yeah, it's all aliens.
Yeah. Well, like I took a look at the I hijacked my lucid dreams, and when I do that, I literally am like, okay, subconscious, you go paint my dream now, and I would like to hit this target. So I was like, show me the eggs, and those eggs were biological in nature, and like, so I don't know if we're ever gonna get feedback on that, but it wasn't like a physically structured egg. It was like a technological, biomechanical egg thing. It was crazy. Yeah. And I think that's what they want to see in our new sessions.
In our new sessions.
We'll just have to, call the aliens here then so we can, hit our targets.
We'll try it again. So, Dave, were you there for that the other night? I forget. We tried to see some aliens over my house.
This is try number 2 or try number 1?
Try number 1.
Yeah.
Well, try the number like 1,000 for me, but I'm still here.
Look at that guy down there drinking a
Or how's your place
Budweiser.
with the
Turn the
clone?
lights on. Like I said, I bet you give enough time, they'll come around. You may not be able to get rid of them once you get them there, but
Yeah, I haven't thought that far yet.
All the way through.
Yeah. I'm just hoping there's some like massive upgrade involved. It's probably not.
you'll be second thinking that when you got a probe 5 foot deep in your ass. Maybe this wasn't a good idea.
Yeah. On that note,
Good
Oh,
time.
its face just
Yeah.
turned so red.
There's them laughing. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to take off. It's good seeing all you guys.
all right,
Good seeing you.
bye.
too.
Okay.
Okay.